Hello to all our family and friends of the Kensington who are caring for those living with dementia. Hi, my name is Leandra Sims. I'm a Positive Approach to Care certified independent coach and trainer. The Positive Approach to Care is a wonderful way of approaching people living with dementia. It's a way of looking at things from a different point of view, from seeing it from our residents' eyes, learning new skills, understanding the progression of dementia, and also understanding the changes that can happen in our brain, and not judging people for it, but becoming a detective. Today, we thought it might be a great idea, since we're PAC designated now, which is a great honor to us, by the way, knowing that we are the first in Southern California and the 11th community to have this honor. We thought it might be a great idea to share some of our skills with you. Here at the Kensington, we have 7 different leaders who have a certification in the Positive Approach to Care. So each one of us is going to share a skill with you. I thought I'd kick it off with sharing my favorite skill, one of the first ones I ever used here in this community, and it's called validation. Validation is extremely important. Sometimes when we're really angry and upset, we think that the best thing to do for our residents is to tell them, oh, it's okay, or everything's fine, just calm down. Well, if it were that easy, they would just calm down. But nobody wants to feel that way. We want to know that people are listening to us and understand our emotion. So what we do when someone's really angry or really scared is we actually validate them. Now, if we were to just use our words alone, it might not work with someone living with a little bit of brain change. So what we do is we go next to them when they're really upset, and we put our body on their dominant side, and we say what they're saying, and we feel what they're feeling. So if they're saying, I want to go home, then we stand next to them and say, you want to go home. Wow, what a difference the first time I did this. I made my resident feel like I cared and I was listening to them. And then after that, I was able to give them some choices, and we were able to figure out what might really be wrong and what their need might be. If you want to know more about validation, I'm sure you can come on over to the Kensington and we can teach you some of those skills.
Hello everybody, my name is Daniel Orozco. I am a licensed nurse here at the Kensington Sierra Madre. I am going to be sharing my favorite PAC skill. This skill actually was my first experience using PAC, and it is very special to me because I was able to successfully perform the task and help the resident meet their need. So my favorite skill is visual verbal touch. The example I'm going to be sharing was with one of our residents. He is a dementia resident who had a heart monitor on. The resident unfortunately was refusing to remove the heart monitor, and the wife and the daughter who was present at the time were unable to successfully do it. So they called me for help. I approached my resident and I said, I gave him a visual cue. I said, hey, and I said his name. I explained who I was. He responded. I was then able to give a verbal cue by saying, may I approach you? I am a nurse and I need to see your heart monitor. He took him a few seconds to register what I was saying, and then he allowed me to approach him. Then I asked him if it was okay for me to touch his body, which would require me to remove the heart monitor. I explained to him that it wouldn't hurt, and he said it was okay. I was able to successfully, with those 3 things, visual, verbal, touch, remove the heart monitor, and with the wife and the daughter there, which was extremely successful and happy. This skill to me is extremely important now that I've managed to perform it. I look forward to trying all my PAC skills, and I encourage everybody to do the same. Thank you so much, everybody.
Hi, my name is Marjorie Villarosa, Director of Assisted Living here at the Kensington Sierra Madre. And I'm here to talk about my favorite PAC skill, which is hand-under-hand technique. When we talk about positive approach to care, hand-under-hand, physical approach, why is it so important? Because it makes a big difference. We were the piece that fills in the puzzle. We cannot do it without them. but they cannot do it without us. It is a combination, and by learning the skills that they're missing, suddenly things change dramatically. Suddenly, the person living with dementia has life because we know how to provide what they're missing. Because it's not all gone. Some things there we have got to use with these techniques. These skills allows us as a care partner to do, and that's what we're talking about, doing it differently. So they can be successful and we can be included. We don't touch unless we give them visual, then verbal, and then touch. And then we do the hand under hand technique. This is guiding and assisting technique that provides care partners with an amazing connection. It promotes a physical touch connection that is friendly, comforting, and attention getting without being intrusive or overbearing. Hand under hand can be used in multiple ways to help someone to eat, to walk, or even calm down in a crisis. As Tipas know say, it is all about making offers and getting permission.
I'm Natalie Maldonado. I'm an independent certified PAC coach here at the Kensington, and I would love to share with you today one of my favorite PAC skills, and that works well for me and works well for my team. The favorite PAC skill is I'm sorry. I'm sorry comes a long way, especially when you're working with residents with dementia. I'm going to give you an example of a time a couple weeks ago maybe. I was cleaning up for dinner and taking plates. My mistake was I took the plate without asking, and the resident did yell at me and was very upset, and I could understand. So at that time I went in supportive stance and make sure to say that I'm sorry and that that was not okay. And I let them know that next time I will make sure to ask you if you were done eating or would you like another plate. They accepted my apology, thankfully, with the I'm sorry. So that situation with that PAC skill was very helpful for me. And I'm going to give you another example when I was changing one of the residents and some of my coworkers were helping me as well and helping with all ADLs, getting ready for bed, and the resident felt very uncomfortable and was yelling and was very upset. The wipe was cold. She was yelling, the wipe was cold. And that was my mistake for not thinking, maybe I should have warmed up this wipe so that it won't be so cold. So at that moment, I did let her know that I am sorry and that is not okay. This will never happen again. I'm sorry. And she did accept my apology. I was holding her hands and in supportive stance, making sure to do hand under hand.
Hi, my name is Marina and I am an independent certified PAC coach. And one of my favorite skills that I use daily, I work in Haven. Actually, there's a lot of favorite skills that I really like. But one of the ones that I use and I feel that works very well in Haven is substitution. Substitution has been tremendously helpful. And with other care partners, I have seen them use substitution and it has made a big difference. In Haven, we have residents that can get very expressive, and safety awareness is one of the concerns in Haven. And substitution plays a big role. We use substitution in many different kinds of situations. And I'll go ahead and I'll give you an example of substitution. We have a resident that would get a napkin or maybe a table mat. Rather than going up to the resident and pulling it away from them, I will substitute it with maybe a cookie. And I offer the cookie, and 90% of the time, they will give me the napkin. And it ends up being very successful, not only for the resident, but for the care partner. Because without using substitution, we will trigger something that we don't want to trigger, and that's gonna be a resident getting very upset. We're gonna lose their trust. They're gonna get angry. They're gonna yell. We're gonna actually end up in like a little fighting match. Give me that. That's mine. That's not yours. We don't want to do that. We want to make the resident feel like what they're doing is not wrong, but we're gonna do it in a positive way using substitution. Another example is I find sometimes when I'm assisting a resident with their ADLs, and I'm gonna go help them take off their brief. A lot of times a resident will hold on to the brief. And instead of me saying, let go, let go, let go, I'll give them a shirt. And then they'll release the brief. And then they'll start helping me. And so we end up working together. Again, skills are very important. We have to do with, not to. And we never want to do our agenda. We have to know their agenda. So substitution is very, very important in Haven because again, safety awareness is very, very important. A lot of our residents are trying to do the best that they can. And we have to make them feel like, hey, you're doing the right thing. Let me help you a little. Here's this. We work together. We connect. We gain trust. And also, they see respect from us. So I love being a coach. PAC is awesome. Skills are tremendously important. And substitution is my favorite.
My name is Marta Reyes and I work at the Kensington and Sierra Madre. I'm here to talk to you a little bit about agenda. Agenda is what we would like for a resident to do. An example, letting a resident know you need to take a shower. You need to do this. The resident start letting you know, no, I'm not. I'm not doing what you're asking me to do. You're not my boss, and you know what? You get out of here. That is an agenda. As a care partner, I've been learning how it is to work with residents living with dementia and how to understand those residents. How important it is for you to connect to a resident, establish a relationship, and come into the rooms to our residents and say, good morning, how are you? How was your night? Do you like to do something, or you want me to help you with something, or you like to come to the dining room? When we learn to do positive approach to care to our residents, things change. You can become very successful because you understand the residents living with dementia.
Hi, my name is Stephanie. I'm the Director of Nursing Services here at the Kensington. I'm also an independent certified PAC coach. I want to tell you what I love best about PAC, and it was that PAC taught me to see things how a person living with dementia saw them, how they process the world, their vision changes, how they hear, and how they process information. It was a real eye-opener and changed how I looked at every situation. For instance, I had this resident who I could not get to take their eye drops. And every day I went up to them and I said, hi, it's Stephanie. I got your eye drops. Let's put your head back. You know, we're ready for eye drops. Just put your head back. You know, and I just kept repeating myself, you know, very politely, but he would not tilt his head back so I could do his eye drops. And you know, you can't force someone to put their head back. So I would have to wait till he got back into bed, or that he refused the eye drops. So after PAC, and after I learned how long it takes for someone living with dementia to process something that is said to them, and how it's better to use less words and more visual, I learned just to go up to him. I simply said, eye drops, head back. And I tilted my head back. And I waited 21 seconds. And he just tilted his head back. So I do that all the time now. But because I understood that it took him that long to process the information I gave him, and every time I repeated myself, he would restart the whole process of what I was trying to ask him to do. So I just be patient, and I waited for him, and he would comply, and I was able to give him his eye drops. And it might seem like just a little thing, but that type of knowledge has helped us to give our residents their medication and not have to write resident refused.
Leandra here again, and I wanted to share one more skill with you today. And this one is kind of a tough one. It's what I like to call, should I sustain or should I switch? A lot of times when we're working with people living with dementia, we try and sustain, meaning I keep trying the same thing that isn't working over and over. And I forget that, whoa, maybe it's time to switch. Boy, this can be tough when you're frustrated and mad, but what a difference it can make. Sometimes to switch, I might have to take a step back and take a deep breath. Whew. And then think, what else could I try? Is this room too cold? Could I put a towel over areas that they want to keep private? Could I maybe try and use some visual verbal touch? There's lots of things to try, and if maybe I can't figure out, maybe I could talk with a friend and say, this isn't working. What else could I try? But trying the same thing over and over, trying to sustain the same thing that isn't working, it's only going to create frustration. We're only going to be at war together. So maybe try that switch. You might find it made a big difference. Thank you so much for watching our video today. We hope that our skills helped you in the same way that it's made such a difference for us. Bye for now.